So I'm Ray Fang. I'm the trauma medical director here at Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center. About all I can tell you right now is that we received 4 persons from the incident this morning. They all came to us as a level 2 trauma center serving this part of Maryland. They're all under our care. We're waiting for confirmation that their families have been notified that they are here and have been notified of their condition before we can give you any specifics about their conditions. So really all I can tell you is that we received 4 patients with gunshot wounds earlier today.
Doctor, can you say if one of those people brought here is the shooter?
To us, they're all patients. We weren't there, so everything we know is second, third hand, so I really can't comment on whether one or not is the shooter.
Has anyone been brought here who their condition may have changed and they may have passed while being here?
So really we need to wait to make sure their families are notified before we can give any of you details about their specific conditions.
But all 4 have gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Multiple gunshot wounds?
Gunshot wounds.
At this point, as far as their condition, it's critical. Can you provide any information?
I think all I really want to say is they all suffered gunshot wounds, and until we have a chance to talk to their families first, I think that it's best for the families to learn their conditions from us directly rather than through you, unfortunately. Yes.
Have any of the victims been taken into surgery?
Some of them have required surgical care.
Were they brought here by medevac or by ground?
By ground. I mean, Maryland has an excellent EMS system. It is pretty advanced and very well organized for our country, and so they were all beneficiaries of that MIMS system, and they were brought here very rapidly.
Can you give us an idea of their priority when they were first brought in?
So MIMS has it has a triage scale, and they were all considered priority 1 because they had suffered gunshot wounds.
Can you tell us how many are male and female?
I can't tell you that until we know the families know who's here.
What time did they arrive?
They arrived probably around 10 a.m.
Are they all adults?
They're all adults.
For their family members, any information they should have at this point if they believe that one of their
So I think there are some contact numbers for them to call. I don't know, again, if they call the hospital directly until authorities have notified them. I don't know that they're going to share more information about their specifics. So I believe that authorities are going to notify all the patients that receive, let them know that they're here. And then once we've had confirmation that that notification has happened, then we can give them more information.
Could you offer some insight to our viewers who may not be familiar with how the decision-making happens or when there is an incident like this and how the decision is made to bring a victim?
Yeah, so in the state of Maryland, again, there's an organization called MIMS, Maryland Institute for EMS Services. All the pre-hospital providers are trained on the MIMS protocols, and there are specific injuries that patients would do best if they came to a designated trauma center. And so if the EMS providers feel they meet those criteria, they will preferentially take them to designated trauma centers within the state of Maryland. For this part of the state, Bayview is the closest trauma center to serve them. Other ones in our region, of course, would be Johns Hopkins Hospital and shock trauma. But again, at least in the trauma community, we feel that there are certain patients whose outcomes are improved by going to designated trauma centers that are resourced, manned, and have the expertise to care for those patients. And this is one probably event where that will probably prove to be true.
Can you talk at all about any increased security at the hospital? You guys down here blocked out the streets, but is there anything else that other patients need to be aware of or families that are trying to get through?
I think, at least at this time, we are business as usual. At first, when we didn't know how many patients we were getting, of course, we kind of adapted to be ready to take more patients, and we were ready to take more patients. Again, in the state of Maryland, the state, I think, tried to distribute patients best to where there was resources and capability available to take care of them. So they saw that we were receiving multiple casualties and we could take more, but of course they tried to offload the number of casualties by distributing them to other trauma centers in the region.
Are any of the patients saying anything about what happened?
I have not had conversations like that with any patient, so I can't say.
So could you just tell us behind the scenes what's happening at this point?
To be honest with you, what's happening now is after those patients came in after that single event, things went back to business as usual. You know, as a trauma center, we look at patients like this, either in multiple casualty events like this or single casualty events, and we take care of them. And once the surge occurred and we were comfortable that more patients weren't coming in, then it was business as usual again.
Are they in the trauma ICU?
So we have a single surgical ICU for trauma and other surgical patients, and if any of them merited that level of care, they would be there. But again, I don't want to comment on specific conditions of any patients.
Any idea when you might be able to share some additional information with us?
Once we have confirmation that the patient families have been informed that their loved ones are here and that we've had a chance to talk directly to the patient's families and let them know their conditions, and perhaps we could share more information about those specific patients.
But again, at this point, you're still reaching out to the families. They haven't all been contacted.
I think the police authorities are the ones that are reaching out for those contacts. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.